Hello everyone, here's a quick example of what we're talking about. What is variable underscore? I'm going to give you guys a quick short command to just show you, and then if you don't get it, and then after I put in my commands, we're just going to do a huge deep dive into what this means. So before we get started in the deep dive, I'm just going to quickly type out some commands. Would help if I'm in the home directory where I can do this. And then I could do cd. So if there's one example, I'm going to explain this more. I'm just like showing you guys like a quick thing of like what we're talking about. Clear. I don't know if you saw that, so I'm typing in clear. We can do cd like this. And if we type in echo, so echo test. Alright, so cool, right? Just interesting commands. So let's get started. Let's jump into what this means. The question is, what is this? $_ What's that? Well, at shell startup, if the underscore variable was in the environment that bash received, then bash leaves it untouched. A variable is just anything with the $ and something. So it's like fast. This is now a variable because it has a $ in front of it. So this is like a reference thing. If you don't know what a variable is, this is too confusing already, then I would recommend looking up a YouTube guide on what is a variable. Now fast forward to what is this? What's a variable underscore? So going back to it, if the underscore variable was in the environment that bash received, then bash leaves it untouched. So in particular, if that bash shell was invoked by another bash shell, then that bash shell will have set the underscore environment variable to the path of the command being executed. For instance, if bash is invoked to interpret a script as a result of another bash shell interpreting something like bash script some args, I don't know. That bash will have passed something like to bash script in the environment given to the bash script, and that's what the initial value of the variable underscore bash variable will be in the bash shell that interprets that script. So the first command we could do is like environment-i underscore whatever bash-c echo, and we can make this variable, let's say it's apple. We do bash shell, and we're going to do, and then we're going to do a command this into echo. So we just echoed, what we just did is echoed this variable. In this variable, we defined it as apple in this environment. That's what that means. In this environment, we have defined the underscore variable as apple, and then we're running a bash command to echo this variable, which is underscore. So right now, this variable is an underscore, but this means apple. So now, if the invoking application doesn't pass the underscore environment variable, the invoked bash shell will initialize the variable to the argument variable 0. It receives itself, which could be bash, or path to bash, or path to some script, or anything else in the example above that would be bin bash if the shebang of the script was bin bash or path to bash script depending on the system. So that text is misleading as it describes the behavior of the caller which bash has no control over. The application that invoked bash may very well not set $variable at all, or it could use it for something completely different. So anyways, if we do environment bash echo, this shows that the environment did not set it to bin bash, so the value we get is the one passed to the environment by our interactive shell. So if we were to do corn shell echo I don't have installed corn shell, so let's do sudo apt install corn shell 93. Okay, let's try this again. Batch. It's bash, come on. Okay, so here, so the corn shell environment is showing the value that we're getting here is the one that's getting passed to the environment by the corn shell. This is the value that we get if it's passed through the environment bash shell. So subsequently is not very clear either. In practice, that's as soon as bash interprets a simple command in the current shell environment. So in the case of an interactive shell, that will be on the first simple command interpreted from etc bash.bash rc, for instance. So let's clear out this and do echo. So as you can see, I typed in clear to clear the screen, and I did echo underscore is our variable, and it's giving us an output clear. So this is the last argument of the last command from the bash rc directory. And then if we do like a function echo test, and then we do echo. So the command line before had no simple command, so we get the last argument of that previous echo command line. And if we do like this test, and then we go echo, but now if we do test, and we do echo, now it brings back test. So if you're putting like quotes around it, it's not gonna return test, but if you don't have, sorry, not quotes, brackets. Yeah, so if you don't have brackets around it, then it's not gonna return it. It's still gonna be using the previous variable, but if you do not put brackets between it, then it's gonna bring back test. So for a non-interactive shell, it would be the first command in the bash environment, or of the code fed to that shell would be that shell if bash environment is not set. So when bash executes a command, bash, like a few other shells, will pass a underscore environment variable to commands it executes that contains the path that bash used as the first argument to the execv system calls. So if we go environment grep, so yeah, that's just the output, and then again, that's like the underscore, right? That's the variable that we're grepping. So the last point we could talk about is a mail path variable. So mail path is a colon separated list of file names which the shell periodically checks for new mail, and each list entry can specify the message that is printed when new mail arrives in the mail file by separating the file name from the message with the question mark. When used in the text of the message, our underscore variable expands to the name of the current mail file, And one command example of that would be mail check, mail path, temp, and then if we do bash echo test, it gives us this output of new mail in this directory. So if we go cat temp a, this is what it put in there. I hope you found some value in what I had to say today, and I'd like to thank you for watching.